Hello, this is Pete, your Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Today we're making succotash.
Yep, foghorn leghorn, be proud.
Okay, so we're going to go just through the ingredients. Succotash is a mixture of corn and lima beans. I think it's a dish that started out in the South here in the U.S. Because they grew a lot of lima beans and a lot of corn comes from the South. And the combination of the flavors is pretty nice. So it's corn and lima beans. Now you can use fresh, and you would partially cook them, or frozen, which we have done here today. Fresh frozen corn and frozen lima beans. We gave them a quick boil to start them cooking. You could also use canned if you don't have the fresh or the frozen. And if you use canned, I would eliminate any additional salt, because a lot of times things that are canned are a little bit salty. And plus we're using bacon, so you don't really need to add additional salt. And a cut up onion, a pepper for taste, and basically that's it. So we're going to cut our bacon, and the bacon is going to be used as your oil and your extra flavoring as well as salt.
All right, so let's get cooking.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half, because you only need about a half a pound of bacon, and we're going to save this bacon to use in another recipe at a later time. And what I'm going to do is use my cooking shears, and I'm just going to cut the bacon into small strips and put it in our pan.
Yep. So this recipe is fairly easy. It's a quick side as long as you...
And I'm turning it on medium high.
Yeah, and this is a quick side as long as you... excuse me, as long as you get everything boiled beforehand. Everything, you know, succotash, it's good. We recently made this... Like, I started making this recipe maybe a year or two ago, because I was like, I wonder, you know, we had some lima beans downstairs, and I figured, what can we do with lima beans? And then I found succotash. But yeah, foghorn leghorn, obviously, if you don't know who he is, he's the rooster from the Looney Tunes cartoons, and he pretty much goes suffering succotash. And he's like, well, I do. Maybe I'll throw a picture of him in as the video so we can see. But yeah, so we're just gonna let the bacon cook and render out the fat, and you know, let it cook till it's nice and crispy. Then what we're gonna do is throw in our onions to cook along with the bacon and cook with the bacon fat.
Yeah, and actually, I went to one of my husband's cousin's house. We were invited over for dinner. And of course it's an all Italian household, and they had just the lima beans. They fried them up with onion, a little hot pepper. So kind of like I think we've done a fried peas recipe.
Yeah. And
so it's very similar to that, and it was delicious.
Bacon flavor really helps make everything tied. It's like ties the room together.
Everything's good with bacon.
Yeah.
And if you're a vegetarian and don't want the bacon, you don't have to use it. The taste will be a little bit different, but using onion will flavor it just as well, and put a little maybe hot pepper in it to give it a kick. Okay, here we are. Look how nice and crispy that bacon is. That's what you're looking for. And now we're going to add the onions.
Yeah, everything's going to cook with the bacon fat. And yeah, it's really
until the onions are kind of translucent.
Right.
And I'm going to add a little pepper to this now.
Yeah,
you keep adding your flavors.
Yeah, you shouldn't need any salt for the most part. But if you want to add a little salt, do it at the end.
Yeah, taste it first. to see if it needs any.
Yeah,
I had my stove on low while I was adding the onion, so I brought it back up to medium.
Yeah, so we'll. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Pepper.
Okay, here we are. The onions are starting just to brown a little bit. So we're going to add our lima beans and let them cook just a little bit ahead of the corn.
Right. Yeah, because the lima beans, pretty much when you boil them or pre-cook them ahead of time, you want to make sure that they're almost fork tender. Because they are going to cook a little bit in here. And you're going to get a lot of nice flavor from the bacon fat. So you just want to mix that up.
And just let it cook a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper.
Yep.
And if you, as I said, if you like it a little spicy, you can actually add red pepper flakes to this. So I'm going to turn it up just ever so slightly and let these beans just cook a little bit more. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 2 minutes. I already checked it, a couple of the lima beans, and they're nice and fork tender. I'm going to add the corn. And if you had fresh corn, you know, in the summertime right off the cob, oh, absolutely delicious. It's a whole nother flavor.
Yeah, it's a whole nother layer of flavor.
Yeah, a lot of people, they kind of thumb up their nose with lima beans. They really don't like them. In my family, it's funny, anytime we had mixed vegetables, my older son, everybody would give their lima beans to him and put them on his plate. He absolutely loved them. What reason, I have no idea. So we used to laugh all the time that we would have mixed vegetables because Stephen would get a plate full.
So you pretty much just let this cook a little longer. You put a little more pepper. And then you're pretty much done as long as you pre-cook the corn and the lima beans. If not, you gotta let this cook for like another 5-10 minutes. No, well, about 5 minutes or so. So pretty much everything's already done. So we could let
and
it cook.
it's a lovely kind of, you know, look at this.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you could even, you know, put other seasonings in if you like, or almost make it like a salad.
Yeah, this is kind of like the most basic recipe. I've seen people add like okra. I've seen people add like squash, or not squash, but zucchini and like tomato sauce, along with the peas and the lima beans and the bacon. But this is just a basic recipe. From here, you use this and do your own building blocks type thing.
Okay,
So,
we're just going to let this simmer maybe another minute or so, and it's done.
Alright, so this is our succotash. Let's bring it up. Hot. But yeah, it's corn, it's onions, it's lima beans, it's bacon. Where can you go wrong? That's good flavor right there. You got nice bacon, nice and crunchy. You got the onions, you can't go wrong with that. You got corn, which is nice and sweet. You're using the white one. We use the yellow white one, I believe it was. And then the lima beans, just really good. Like, especially if you don't like lima beans, this might be a way to try to reintroduce you to lima beans, maybe. I don't know. It all depends. But yeah, it's nice and peppery too. So nice job, Ma. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
Nope.
Just enjoy.
So yeah, this has been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
This has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.